everyone, and welcome to our session, Zero Trust, Full Power, End-to-End Security for Agents and Apps with Agent 365. I'm Mihaela Blenda, a Principal Product Manager at Microsoft.
And I'm Jocelyn Pinchel, Senior Product Manager on the same team. We've spent a lot of time working with organizations facing the same challenge. AI agents offer incredible potential, but scaling them safely feels like navigating uncharted territory. Today, we're taking you on that journey, from understanding how AI agents are transforming the workplace to seeing exactly how Microsoft Agent 365 turns potential into reality through governance, security, and scalability. This session will walk you through real solutions and experiences spanning the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, Purview, Defender, and Entra. We will address real challenges that IT admins, data security admins, and security and operations admins face in the age of AI digital transformation. Let's dive in. AI agents are no longer experimental. They're already operational in organizations across the planet and growing. They're no longer simple scripts. They're autonomous digital teammates that learn, adapt, and independently execute complex tasks. But the real challenge? Agents need the same access as employees, but without proper controls, trust erodes. Visibility gaps leave you blind to which agents are operating. Permissions sprawl unchecked. Lifecycle ownership remains unclear, and threats go undetected. And at the center of successful agent adoption and deployment is trust. Building trust requires solving all of these challenges by providing visibility, control, and governance. This is why we built Agent 365. Agent 365 is the control plane for AI agents, a unified platform that brings observability, governance, and security to enterprise-ready agentic fleets. The Agent 365 approach is to continue leveraging this same familiar suite of capabilities that we already use for user management. Apply the same infrastructure, policies, and tools across Purview, Defender, and Microsoft M365 Admin Center with the new cross-platform observability and tracing of Agent 365 to all come together as an end-to-end management experience, agnostic of agent type. Agents integrate into your existing security posture instead of creating shadow IT chaos. And empowered with the Agent 365 tooling gateway, your agents are not only working seamlessly, securely, and at scale, but they are also now enriched more than ever by a unified platform with first-class data sources for diversified extensibility and high-end developer experiences. With a wide selection of MCPs and tools spanning first and third-party services and agent-to-agent interactions, your Agent 365 agents will reach their maximum potential for productivity and collaboration while maintaining and respecting utmost data compliance, protections, and access controls. So, now that you've seen what Agent 365 is and why it matters, let's shift gears. We're about to show you how Agent 365 empowers you to manage agents with the same confidence and control that you expect for your users and apps. Let's dive in and start with observability, because trust begins with visibility. You can't trust agents operating in the shadows. IT admins need to verify task completion. Security needs assurance that data is protected, and business leaders need to measure business impact and ROI. Any agent built with the Agent 365 SDK, no matter what platform, automatically provides observability data that surfaces with the tools that you already use. With Agent 365 Observability, you get tailored views and metrics to respond to everyone's needs. Agents stop being black boxes and start behaving like accountable identities, visible, secure, and scalable. Now I'm going to hand it back to Mihaela to show you this in practice.
Thank you, Jocelyn. Here we are in the new and improved Microsoft Admin Center. From the start, we are presented with a host of helpful metrics spanning Copilot, agent, and users. We can navigate to the Agents Overview page, where we can explore patterns across our agentic fleet, entirely publisher and platform agnostic. This is our ROI dashboard and our warning system all in one, showing time savings and user adoption, as well as agents that need attention, such as agents with risks and pending agent requests. We can also see trending agents with a growing number of users, so we are aware of adoption behaviors across the tenant. Next, there are a number of experiences for us to explore that provide deeper visibility into agent behaviors and usages in our organization, as well as governance controls. Let's investigate the first one at our disposal. First and foremost, the inventory view. Here, we are equipped with a detailed look at registered agents, their owners, and operational status. We can easily monitor insights like usage metrics, updates, and availability. When we sort by agent risks, we can easily dive deeper into potential issues and be pointed to where to mitigate them. For example, here we can see the learning guide agent has sign-in abnormalities and risky users, which can be further addressed in Entra. To get a good lay of the land, the agent map can help us. A visual representation of our entire agent ecosystem. We see clusters of agents grouped by type or function, communication flows between agents, and most critically, any incident alerts highlighted visually. We can spot check clusters to understand organizational patterns and immediately drill into any alerts that appear. This will be our prioritization tool. Like we could on the inventory page, we can double-click into specific agents, see detailed activity, and take action. For example, we can easily revise the permissions for the comms agent and review the protection policies. Furthermore, right from Mac, we can take other data protection measures, like defining allowed and blocked MCP servers. By clicking on the Microsoft Outlook Calendar MCP, we can read the description and then choose to block the use of the Outlook Calendar MCP for our tenants' agents easily. We can also unblock once it is justified by a business need. Finally, Mac is also the place to review and add new agents to the ecosystem. We can click on requests to see a list of pending agents. Here, we can approve or deny requests for new agents across the tenant. For example, we can select the Java staffing incident agent and see important information before approving. This can include the tools and knowledge it will have access to, as well as the built-in security protections across Purview, Entra, and Defender. When we're ready, we can move forward with deploying. Along the way, we can configure allowed users of this agent. Then, we can view the default agent template preloaded with policies and permissions and customize them as we wish before finally allowing the agent to run in the tenant. Within minutes, this agent is approved and deployed, secure by default, governed from the start. From visibility to response to prevention, we've seen how Agent 365 observability translates into control using familiar tools like the Microsoft Admin Center. With a high-level visibility in the agent inventory and agent map views with easy filters to the immediate action we can take on permissions and tools enablement, to adding new agents to our tenant, Mac is the centralized place for IT and AI admins to manage AI solutions across their enterprise.
Now, visibility and governance are crucial, but they only work if your data is protected. So, in these next sections, we'll focus on the security and operations, spanning sensitive data protection and compliance, to threat detection and defense, to agent sprawl mitigation and access management. And the first is tackled in Microsoft Purview. Agents can read, summarize, and share information faster than any human, but they also interact with people, drafting emails and shaping decisions. We need to safeguard these interactions, and that is where Microsoft Purview comes, to ensure agents can't expose sensitive information. Purview gives you complete data protection for agents. With a data security posture management for AI experience, security admins can easily monitor for agent risk or insider risk. With protection policies and labels, sensitive data can be protected from misuse of agents. And with ample visibility through comprehensive logs and policies, compliance is maintained. And Purview's reach is encompassing and far-reaching. The capabilities span first-party products and have even expanded into third-party platforms as well. Data classification and labels flow as data is passed across platforms in agentic scenarios, and audit trails are maintained along each step of the way. Let's see Purview in action. Here we are in the Activity Explorer. one of the key pages in the Data Security Posture Management for AI offering in Microsoft Purview. At the top, this bar chart is rich with information, providing daily metrics on things like AI interactions and the use of sensitive information. The telemetry is easily filterable to provide any level of granularity that we need. Below, this detailed table articulates potential insider risk incidents with the required information needed to investigate, including the user, the time, and the agent or application interacted with. We can notice here an interaction with the same comms agent from earlier and dive deeper. Here we can see that a risky user interaction has indeed taken place, with a quote of the suspicious prompt. Mona asked the comms agent to summarize meetings that she was not invited to and should not have access to. With the guardrails for responsible AI, this prompt was filtered out and failed. Now, let's check out a new agent view, powered by the same Agent 365 observability pipeline that enriched our Microsoft Admin Center experience. Here we can get a clear overview of the agents in our tenants, including their risk types, risky activity trend, and number of policies in place. We are warned of agents interacting with sensitive information and can see once again knowledge and tools in play for each agent. Once again, we can dive deeper into the comms agent, which seems to be at high risk. We now are provided with an overview of potentially risky activity with the comms agent, spanning use and exfiltration of sensitive data and oversharing, with a downtrend in sensitive data protection as well. We click deeper to this activities view and we can see a diagram of data sprawl as unlabeled SharePoint and OneDrive data was accessed and overshared. Once selecting those data sources, we can then see a specific list of participants who interacted with the comms agents while the unlabeled data was spread. We can easily take action from here and configure some auto-label policies to protect the unlabeled data, as well as configure a DLP policies to minimize access to that information once labeled. With the helpful graph on the right, we can predict the positive impact of mitigating the oversharing within the next week. From high-level visibility to granular deep dives, Purview provides all the information and audits required for compliance and security admins to have a good picture of agentic activity in their organization. With rich insights on potential risks like oversharing of sensitive information and data sprawl, and easily deployed policies to mitigate issues, Purview offers comprehensive solutions for ensuring safe agent adoption. We've established trust in how agents handle data. Now, let's protect agents from any threats. Defender delivers full lifecycle protection, discovering vulnerabilities like insecure instructions and excessive permissions, detecting attacks with attack path analysis, and executing investigations and responses to those threats, and also proactively protecting by blocking risky agents and remediating vulnerabilities before exploitation. With Defender, security teams gain the visibility, threat intelligence, and controls to confidently scale AI. Let me show you how this works in practice. Here we are in the Defender portal, where we have a good overview of our organization's security, where security operations need to focus their efforts on next. On the landing page, there are a number of customizable cards for us to have good visibility into key insights like security posture, potential users at risks, incidents and alerts, and threats. Let's dive deeper into incidents. Once again, we find the comms agent, and we see a high priority incident associated with it. The incident view gives us the full picture: who is involved, what agent was targeted, and the sequence of suspicious activities. But this isn't just an isolated alert. It is a coordinated view of the threat, specifically impossible travel activity. Let's click into further details. The data confirms it. The same user credentials access the agent from 2 different countries within 2 minutes, attempting to retrieve sensitive employee data each time. Row by row, we can see details on the numerous attempts to access various SharePoint sites with private organizational data. We can access raw, high-fidelity Agent 365 observability data from the Sentinel data lake. This stores events long-term so we can continue to investigate thoroughly even weeks or months after the incident. We decide to flag this incident and assign this alert to ourselves. From there, we can assure that this account is indeed marked as compromised to prevent any future malicious activities. Next, we can go further with Defender's advanced hunting capabilities, allowing us to expertly search for threats with up to 30 days of retention. Here, we can search with Kusto query language for specific event types like invoke agent and execute tool by MCP server. The query will return granular results for us with critical information such as application ID and timestamps, information needed for performing thorough investigations of risks against our agents. Lastly, we can then conclude by creating a detection rule that will alert us of similar potential threats in the future. That's Defender for Agent 365, continuous monitoring powered by Agent 365 Observability, automatic threat detection, unified investigation tools, and actionable remediation, all integrated into the familiar Defender experience. From detection to response to prevention, your agents are protected every step of the way.
We just saw how Defender detects and responds to threats. Now, let's prevent those threats from reaching your agents through identity and access controls. Microsoft Entra brings identity and access governance to all agents using the same tools you already use to manage users. The agent registry consolidates all agents into a single view. Then, using familiar tools, you govern the end-to-end agent lifecycle and protect agents by enforcing access policies based on risk and context and least privilege access. Let's see this in action. Remember that risky session we blocked in Defender? Now I'll show you how to set conditional access policies that would have prevented that attack from ever happening. Let's jump into Entra Admin Center. Right from the start, we get a high-level overview of the tenant security status, account information details, and up-to-date documentations on latest Entra features that help us secure the tenant. Next, we can examine the user activity in the tenant, high-privilege user activity, and monitor sign-in behaviors. Then, you can follow the smart recommendations to improve the security posture of the tenant, such as implementing conditional access for limiting which users can access agents. We are going to talk about that later. Before, let's take a look at the agentic identities in the tenant, starting with a summarized view of the agent fleet based on various criteria such as creation trends, usage metrics, and identity types. In the list of agent identities, we find our comms agent. We click on it, and the detailed view will give us even more insights into the agent ID, like the owner and the Entra sponsor. We can manage the agent lifecycle and see permissions and roles. Finally, let's complete our plan and protect access to the comms agent by using conditional access policies, the same capability we use every day to protect users' access. Remember, conditional access works like an if-then statement. If a certain conditions are met, then apply these controls. Let me show you how we can enforce location-based access for accessing agents. I'm creating a new policy to prevent the attack we just saw in Defender from ever happening again. I'll call this restrict access to agents. First, I need to specify who this policy applies to. I'll select all users. This policy will target all agent identities across the organization, not just one specific agent, but the entire fleet. Notice I could also target specific agent set or individual agents if I wanted more granular control. But for this security policy, organization-wide protection makes sense. Now for the critical part, the location condition. I'm selecting locations as the condition. I'll set this to include our approved corporate locations and require one of the available authentication policies that Entra is suggesting for us. This will address the attack we saw in Defender, where a user accessed the comms agent from multiple countries. With this policy, those attacks would have never reached the agent due to the strong authentication policy, even if the attacker bypassed other organization boundaries. Simple and effective. No agent interaction, no data exposure, no incident for the SOC team to investigate. I'll enable the policy and save it. It's now active across the entire organization. That's conditional access for agents, now protecting your agent identities with location-based enforcement. It is just one of the Entra capabilities that you can leverage to secure your agents, scale protections across the enterprise to have full visibility over all your agents, irrespective of the agent platform and publisher. What you've seen is the Microsoft Agent 365 working across critical layers: observability in M365 Admin Center for visibility and governance, Purview for data protection, Defender for threat detection and response, and Entra for identity and access governance. The breakthrough is all integrated. Agent activities logged once power security across every product. Policies set in Microsoft Admin Center are enforced everywhere. Incidents investigated in Defender connect to identities in Entra and data policies in Purview. Agent 365 turns your Microsoft governance and security stack into a unified control plane for AI agents. Complete protection, same familiar tools, and one platform for all your agents. This concludes our session today. We hope you find it useful.
Thank you for watching.